Yeah, actually, Lalo went bottom as Drake to gank the bottom, but nothing happened. At the same time, the Protoss team took advantage and took out the Viron for the Zerg side. But Esper comes in to clean up, or Psychologist comes in to clean up, takes out the Biotron for the Protoss team.
We're gonna see the cow go down up top.
Beautiful
Drake
pluck.
Carter and the Biotron ulti, yep. What we saw there was cow used the wall to keep the creeps back because he was sort of solo laning. But it really didn't pull up the Zerg creeps too far to his tower so that he was able to really use the tower to protect himself. And it just wasn't a really effective use of mana. I don't know if he would have been able to get in that situation anyway. May even want a lane switch, only because there isn't much they're going to be able to do, you know, with a cow trying to get away from a Biotron.
Alright, looking at the levels here, Atheist going with Time Walker Greaves for his boots, level 12, his Kerrigan level 9, Biotron level 9, Rancor level 7, Cow level 8. For the Zerg team, we're going to have Mandrake going with Time Walker Greaves as well for his boots, level 9, Rancor level 9, Biotron level 9, Vorpal level 13, so ahead there by 1 level against his opponent's carry, and level 9 for Viron. Engagement here in top river is kind of a... everyone's really separated, but looks like Atheist gets a bad ulti in there, so he's able to not get a kill, and Ion able to escape. Raf Angelo trying to drop some nukes here in the top river. Brandon's going to get a kill with his Biotron. Ion looks like he's going to go down as well. He's kind of just scrambling over here. Chan's over here getting cloaked in by the Ghost, and they're going to... the Protoss team is going to get out there with a couple kills.
And what was really important about that whole fight is that the Zerg team was was basically able to break even on that fight with the kills and deaths. However, Psychologist already got the Pyre and he already took Aeon, so that puts the Zerg team way ahead at this point. Not insurmountable, but Protoss team is going to have to play really well in the team fights to be able to come back at this point. Looking at the Zerkan, his minerals, he only has about 900 minerals saved up, and he doesn't have his first item past boots, so it's going to be really difficult for the Protoss team to come out of this.
This could be bad here for the Protoss team, as there is a 3 at bottom. But the carries are there. Atheist is going to try to do what he can to scare off the Zerg team.
No, the Kerrigan wasn't able to get away. He's the next likely guy to have the Pyre. Wasn't able to get away. That
a snipe here could take down. There it is. Yeah, the snipe there. Nicely done there by Raph.
Now, despite the Zerg team being ahead with the Aeon, we actually don't see any tower pushing or team fighting. We see everyone is still sort of in the laning phase, which really not what you want to be doing with that kind of a buff.
Brandon got in a lot of trouble there for tower diving there against Viron.
Now, if Brandon was carrying a space-time capsule, I don't think he was, but if he had one at that time, he actually could have gotten away the smoke screen long enough to have warped out, but Oversoul finally got there with the scan, and we were able to take him out at the last second in the smoke screen.
So our first tower goes down on the Protoss side. Looks like there's our team.
It looks like top tower is going to get taken out too. That's what you really want to be doing with that Aeon buff.
Is the Aeon buff up right now?
I think it has just worn off.
Okay, looking at the scores, 6-14 in favor of the Zerg. Zerg also has 2 towers on the Protoss team. So yeah, a little bit of a deficit here for the Protoss team to work on. They have 4 bottom against 2 from the Zerg, but looks like the Zerg wants to regroup. At bottom tower, looks like Vorpal is cleaning up. Mid is being held as well by Oversoul. Yeah, the Ghost's really able to clean up a lot of creep waves with his nukes. Zerg team moving into the Protoss forest here, gonna try to get a gank on, looking for people to kill. Biotron is burrowed.
Yeah, I like the initiative they're taking. They really want to keep the Protoss Kerrigan out of a fight, and keep the Kerrigan from farming up that pyre. They're going to be doing that by pressuring the Protoss forest.
Two of the Zerg players are kind of stuck in Kerrigan's
really
ulti.
Nice
yeah.
Kerrigan. Really nice ultimate. Using the high ground, they don't have vision. They're already focused on the other heroes, and then popping that ultimate underneath the other team.
Yeah, but
however,
during that team engagement, the bottom tower went down.
Yep, that's what having a Biotron is all about. You have one thing going on one side of the map, Biotron is taking out the other side.
Yeah, forcing that team engagement allowed the Bio to really sniper that bottom tower, and now Zerg team is ahead, 3 towers, all tier 1s here. A lot of action going on. Looks like Zerg team wants to move into the top side of the map and actually gank on the Biotron. A snipe coming in from the Ghost. Viron has already used the spells, and there's an ulti from Bio, as well as a Claymore to hopefully take him out. Yep, and the nuke finishes him off. Viron kind of doing a lot of damage, like passively, to this team. Can you kind of explain on what Viron's role is for the Zerg team?
Well, right now there have been some recent changes. Viron has been nerfed a little bit. It was felt by a lot of the high-level in-house players that when Viron uses his W skill, he's essentially, because of his passive, which causes whenever he uses one of his phages, it bounces around to any nearby unit. So he's able to use one skill and essentially paint the entire team in team fight with an ability that causes any attacking units to get stunned and take damage. And in a team fight, you can imagine if every one of your auto-attacking heroes is getting stunned and taking damage, they're essentially out of the fight, and you're able to let the rest of your team just clean it up. So the developers have nerfed the skill. Now what it does is it actually just slows the attack and movement speed of the affected enemies. They still take damage, but the stun was really what was causing him to be overpowered. It still looks like in the team fights right now, Byron is playing a nice role, being able to get damage over time and the debuffs on the enemy team and really help out, while the Vorpal, Biotron, and the Rancor and the Drake up the rest of the team.
Alright, engagement coming in at bottom. It's going to be...
Yeah, it looks like the team is getting separated here.
I'm not quite sure who's going to come out on top. The Zerg team was kind of straggling in, and there is a Cow ulti that was able to get a couple of stuns out there. Ion does go down, but Vorpal takes out... Oh, nice Kerrigan ulti. But, wow, not too many deaths. Chan getting a kill even. Went down on the Protoss team, and only one went down for the Zerg team. And Zerg team continuing to put on the pressure. Creep wave has arrived. Some nukes are dropping.
It was important that they took out the Biotron. The Protoss did in that fight. Otherwise, they probably would have lost their mid tower or possibly their top tier too. Could have just easily gotten other side of the map with a TPI, or sorry, not a TPI, but a space-time capsule, and use that time to pressure another side of the map. So even though the Zerg team did come out ahead in that fight, they didn't actually get any additional towers, but now that the Biotron is back up, I'm warping in top, pushing a lane that's not being guarded at the moment. Now we're going to have a bio-on-bio fight, and I think they're just going to bounce off each other. That was good, Brandon. Top lane, or saw the other Biotron in the lane and went to counter him. I'd like to see the Vorpal go ahead and take one of the bosses at this point. He still has the pyre, the bosses are up, no one's really paying attention. That could be a good time for the Zerg team to get the initiative.
Yeah, and the Bio pushing top tower is forcing 3 players to actually move to that side to make sure it doesn't go down. And meanwhile, Zerg team wants to move into the forest of the Protoss team again. Looks like they're cleaning up some neutrals, and they're going to be pushing this tower just without creep even. They're just going to backdoor it, which is allowed.
Good positioning on the Zerg team. They had the high ground, they had the vision, Rancor was in position.
So, huge engagement here at bottom. Oversoul kills Convict. And looks like Atheist is going to get a kill, but August Rush is going to get picked off after he throws his ulti. And with full health on 3 of the Zerg team, will Brandon get away? Looks like he is going to be able to get away. Atheist is also there, but he's wise not to jump in on those 3 strong characters.
And meanwhile, we have Biotron taking out the Protoss tier 3 top.
Yeah, it looks like this bottom tower tier 2 is going to go down for the Protoss team, and really suffering from a lack of items. I mean, we can check the items, but it's really going to be in favor of the Zerg team no matter what.
Yeah, what I'm seeing from the Zerg team is just really good pressure, initiation, then they're putting on counter pressure on both sides of the map, so this is really putting the Protoss team at a loss.
Ion is burrowed, and 3 Protoss players are on top of him, but they have no idea that he's there. No one's holding. Oh, there's the scan. Are they going to get him? Yes, there's the snipe. There's the nuke. But no, he Claymore's out. 1, 2, and he's out. Oh, but there is a bio there. He does ulti him. His nuke's drop. Some carnage going on. Atheist getting cleaned up by Vorpal. Vorpal must be doing a lot of damage. I'm not sure of his items, but it's got to be good. Lalo trying to get a pluck, but misses. Biotron pushes him away. August Rush in trouble. He does get killed by Vorpal. Vorpal going to continue on the pursuit of Rafangelo. And yeah, this is really bad for the Protoss team.
Yeah, unfortunately they sort of gave up let the cat out of the bag when they lost that mid fight and they went for the chase. Kerrigan wasn't able to take the Leviathan. The other team just sort of had too much vision, and then they just followed along with the Rancor.
Yep, and now what good teams do is they just, when they have when they have tier 2s pushed, they can just take the levy from the other side. So Zerg team's going to pick up levy and going to get $400, 400 minerals richer for each person.
Yeah, Viron's going to clog up that top lane. They're going to have the rest of the team in position. They're still able to take it. It was a nice heads-up play by Atheist to try to steal it, but I don't think to be successful. Yeah, I think the only way that the Protoss team is going to get out of this at the moment is to really have the Biotron just start ninjaing towers. He needs to get one of the top towers, bottom towers or mid towers, give his side more map control and more money to help them climb out of their item. But regardless, I think we've seen 2 bosses taken. We have almost all of the towers down except for the Protoss mid tier 2. So that puts them way ahead on money. I think in terms of the kills, I don't have the leaderboard up, but I think Zerg team's ahead on kills as well.
Yeah, the kills are 13 to 27 in favor of the Zerg team.
Yeah, so really what needs to happen is when you're playing a Biotron game, like I said, you want to be putting pressure and counter pressure, and you want to use the confusion of the other team to your advantage. The Zerg team is doing a really good job of that right now, and the Protoss team is not. They're sort of just in a holding and defensive pattern, always sort of on the back foot. Really what you want to be doing is taking initiative.
Yeah, just noticing the team comps with that pluck from the Drake killing Rafangelo and the Ghost is that the Protoss team doesn't really have an initiator. With Microband and the Zerg team only having a Drake, they're kind of an advantage in that team composition.
Yeah. Right.
I think with all the new characters and all the recent releases, it's been, more playing the new characters and OP characters.